Alright, how's it going, everybody? Just thought I'd do a vlog. I haven't done one in a while, but I've got this train just going crazy through my head right now of thought, and if I don't pick it up and just throw it all into a video right now, it's going to just crash and be gone. So I figured I'd just try and get everything at once. I just want to talk about uh, basically failure and whether it exists or does not exist or is a mix of everything, because there's this people have different ways of thinking of it, and some people think it's the worst idea or mindset, and some people are fueled by it, like me. But you've got these two extremes of one person saying there's everything is a failure. If you did not get first place, you are failing, or that's just a wasted effort, and then basically you've got this complete failure that if that happens, that you're just going to get depressed and give up, and that's going to be the end of it. And then the other spectrum is, oh, no one fails, it doesn't exist. If you got third place, that's the best, you did your best, and whatever. No one, everyone deserves a trophy. Everyone wins. Nobody loses. You know, that type of thing that's been more popular nowadays, and I think that's also going too far in the other direction. Because I do believe I am a realist. I do believe there is failure. I do believe, if you think about it in absolutes, yes, if you did not get first place, you did fail. But there's a difference between that failure and being a complete failure. You know, there is the small failures, but there's also maybe you did the best you've ever done in a show. You've done, like last show, you got third place. This time you got second or first place in your class, but you didn't get the overall. Yes, you technically still failed, but that is still better than you did, so that is a success in the same failure. So to me, that's the way I look at it. I mean, last season I was this close from a pro card. What can I do? I can't do anything to change that. I got second in my class in one of my shows, and if the guy that hadn't been there, if he was doing pro like he probably should be doing, since he's already been qualified for so long, then I most likely would have won the whole show. But I lost to him, therefore did not get my pro card. So basically, the goal that I had last season was to get my pro card, so I didn't get it. I failed in that respect. But in that same sense, it was such a success in all the things that I learned, the experiences I gained, being in the best shape of my life pretty much every show successively. Like, I didn't have a peak and then go back down, and it was like I got just successively better each show. So to me, it's like you can't just ignore that you got third place. You can't ignore that. There's still two places you could have done better, so to me, I don't think it's anything wrong. I don't think it's negative to go, okay, I failed. The negative comes when you go, I failed and I'm giving up, or I failed and I can't do better. That's when it's really becomes a negative, and that's when you believe just in complete failure and there's no other option. But really, you need to just, the best way, in my opinion, is to use that to better yourself and keep going. Because that is, things like failing, and then also the fear of failing. Fear is an extremely powerful motivator. So, I would have never competed in the first place if I didn't decide to take that step and actually get on stage to go. And I got second in my class. I was happy I didn't get last, but I didn't get first in my class. Whatever. But to me, that was still a success. Even though I didn't win my class, it still was a success because I successfully went through my diet. I almost quit 4 weeks out. I went through the whole thing, got on stage for the first time, and I went through with the entire process, and I ended up loving it, still doing it, and I've been doing better each time I've got on stage after that. And that's what it's about in the sport, and not necessarily worrying about other guys that are, you may not have the best genetic shape, you may not have the biggest chest or the biggest thighs or whatever. That's just part of the game. You deal with what you have. You use little failures along the way like this to fuel you, to better yourself, and you're gonna just slowly go up like this, and not just go, well, I lost and that's it. Because that's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. So, I mean, set yourself up to just totally get better with time, basically. And so let me give you an example real quick. I have a whiteboard ready, and so let's say we have this guy over here that says, this strong artwork right here. I don't even know if you can see that. Here's a guy, and he decides, I'm going to take up mountain climbing, so, or rock climbing, whatever you want to call it. And he says, oh, I'm just going to do half dome. So there's half dome, basically right there, and he's standing at the edge of this, and he gets like, maybe puts a hand on it, says, oh, I can't do this at all. This is impossible. How can anybody do this? And he just decides to give up. And the problem is, his goal was too big from the start, and he set himself up for failure. And if you have another example, I'm really sorry if this is too small, but the same guy, let's say he climbs this little face that's not quite vertical, and then he gets to the top, and he successfully gets up there and is happy, and he's conquered the small peak. He then decides to tackle this one that's bigger. He climbs the face of this one, and then he is going to this big one over here, and you have this steady rate of incline, steady increase over time, and rather than just this straight up line and immediate failure right off the bat. So this way, I mean, you also, I mean, who do you think is going to stick with the sport longer? The guy who's set up periodic small goals and has been able to maybe fail a couple times before successfully getting it, then moving on to the next one, or this guy that just chooses this huge thing and thinks he's going to do it right off the bat. So not only this, but when you have basically logical goals that are practical, that you can actually attain, that are like maybe just beyond your reach, that you have to work to get to, but not necessarily that they're like impossible in the time span that you give yourself, you're going to have that glimpse of hope. It's going to be right outside of your fingertips, and you know that if you strive for that and work hard, you'll get there. Whereas the guy who's set this lofty goal and has no clue what he's doing is not going to get there, and he's going to lose hope extremely fast, and that's going to end up in just complete failure rather than small failures fueling the increase in abilities and increase in the drive to be able to get it. I mean, you're going to get just to the edge of this and not be able to do it. You've been that close. That's going to make you want it that much more next time and work harder for it. So that's really, I mean, there's so many things you can't control in the sport, and you really, that's why I love just setting practical goals for yourself. Try to keep bettering yourself through the time and on stage and through the time dieting, and just keep working for what you want to do. I mean, my goals originally were maybe I'll compete. Eventually I was like, oh, I'll take my first step. I got on stage. I went through the typical 12-week diet, got on stage, and then ended up really liking it. So next time I was like, okay, I'm going to do this again next year, you know. And that time I was like, I want to win my class. Like, that was my goal. That one I actually did end up winning my class. I ended up winning the whole overall novice that year in one of the shows. So I was happy, and it was like small steps like this each time. And then I mean, the beginning it was like, could I really be a bodybuilder? Could I do natural bodybuilding? And now it's like a pro card is within reach. And I mean, you tell me that years back when I just started lifting, I was like, no, I'm not going to be on the stage bodybuilding, and no way would I ever think that I was going to be possibly a natural pro in the near future, you know. It just develops that way, and through failures in the past where I've felt that I should have been placed higher or whatever happened, that just adds to my drive. I don't go, oh well, this is stupid, I'm going to not waste my time anymore, you know. And I mean, if you don't love it, then yeah, don't waste your time and effort. But if you really enjoy it, use these small things. There's nothing wrong with the failing, and you use these to continue to move on. And I know there is a saying that this is like, I believe there's something along the lines of don't being afraid to fail. I think even Arnold says that, don't be afraid to fail. And I mean, you can't be. You have to just accept that there's a chance that you're going to, and you have to just do the best you can do and keep moving on. So that's, I think I got everything out of my head that I wanted to, and I thought I would, I think, yeah, I think I covered it pretty well from what I can recall, and I thought I would do this in my Hitting a Tank top and support this brand because it's high intensity training, not talking. I think it says on the back, I hope. But yeah, and also give you guys kind of an off-season update of my current fat self quotes. I mean, this is about as fat as I get. About a little over 200 pounds right now. I've been holding steady at that for a while, and strength has been slowly increasing. So yeah, here's a little most muscular business and little aesthetics and a duck for you. Alright, take care guys, keep training hard.